Hey Weirdos, it's Thursday again. I'm Mackenzie, and as always, I am joined by...
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Christopher.
And this podcast is for Weirdos.
What are we talking about, Mackenzie?
All right. Today, we're kind of, I don't know, going back where your guys' wet things were lake. My wet thing is not lake. We've moved away from lakes.
Well, I had inland sea.
Hey, gang, have you caught on to a trend in the formatting of the last couple of episodes?
like
I
the
wonder
last
if there's, like,
15.
I wonder if there's like
a bit we do.
theme or something. It seems like there were a lot of book reports and wet things.
Maybe some
Maybe
alien
some
shit.
UFO
aliens?
stories.
We're going to talk about mermaids today.
Ooh,
So
nice.
Hell yeah.
kind of back to your, I feel like this is kind of a back to the basics.
Yeah, it's back to basics.
cryptid
Yeah.
beings.
one.
Classic.
It's classic. Tell me what you know about the mermaids.
Mermaids. I know mermaids is a literary device.
Okay.
So we have like The Little Mermaid,
Mm-hmm.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Yep.
And that was a book about being gay.
Because it's an allegory for him being a gay man.
Yep. A gay man.
A gay man.
Not a
if you will.
mermaid,
No.
but a gay man
A gay man.
instead.
A gay man.
A gay man.
How many times can we say it?
Gay man.
I don't know where my... I'm listening.
But I know mermaids are often portrayed as like very pretty ladies who are half woman, half fish.
Mm-hmm.
I know I don't know if they're the same thing, but like there's sirens and they sing very pretty and they lure sailors to their deaths.
They are not the same thing.
They're not this. Oh, okay.
Well, I'll
Those
talk
are
about.
different.
I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but continue.
And I know selkies are similar, but
Not the
Also
same.
different.
Not also different, but they're similar.
I think both of
in
those are going to have
theory.
their own episodes.
Yeah.
Both Sirens and Selkies.
Yeah, selkies are pretty cool. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
What about you, Lucy?
They are ladies. They're fish. Well, specifically mermaids, obviously,
Fish.
are fish women.
Yes.
So they are primarily, as far as I know, like fish bottom, lady top, from like belly button up, belly button down sort of situation. And I mean, as a sailor, I do know, having taken a lot of like maritime folklore and yada yada yada, and almost becoming an ethnomusicologist in the study of sea shanties. For the most part, just guys who were lonely seeing manatees.
Manatees.
Being like,
belugas.
That's a lady. That's a hot lady.
And I know, Christopher Columbus and his mermaids.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's what I know. I know of them. I don't know like any super historical origins of them. I
Okay.
do know that like most of the time when men were seeing mermaids, it was some sort of aquatic mammal that they were like, that looks like a lady, and then they were like,
It could be a lady.
it could be a lady, and that's what I got for you.
Okay. So, just to clarify, today we are talking about human fish people. So tail butts, people tops.
Yeah, top half person, bottom half fish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
The
Not
episode
top half
title.
fish.
Correct.
Not human butts.
So yeah, no, that's weird.
You heard the song about that?
Yeah.
The Great Big Sea song?
So we're talking. Obviously, I'm gonna get into it more, but you have there's the mermaid, which is we're talking about women specifically. There is merman, and like a gaggle of them is like merfolk.
Yeah.
We are not what we aren't talking about. We'll touch on them briefly, but like we aren't talking about sirens. We aren't talking about selkies. We aren't talking about Scylla and Charybdis. We aren't talking about like other aquatic creatures like that. We're not talking about nymphs and nereids, and we're not talking about.
We're not talking about, for lack of a better word, water ladies in general.
Yeah, we are talking specifically fishtails, human tops. Okay,
and men, women, all of the above.
Fishtails, human tops. Just to clarify, because there are some like Asian folklore specifically that is like fish body, human head, not what we're talking about. I will talk about that like in context of different water beings, amalgamizing the smaller water bits later on.
Yeah. There will be a not just mermaids, other water things at a later time.
Okay, so a definition, because we love a definition.
We do.
In folklore, a mermaid is an aquatic creature with the head and upper body of a female human and the tail of a fish. Mermaids appear in the folklore of many cultures worldwide, including Europe, Latin America, Asia, and Africa.
Oh, nice.
So we are far wider spread than just Hans Christian Andersen and
Little
Denmark and the Caribbean. Like we are well beyond that.
Yeah.
So the English word mermaid has its earliest known attestation in Middle English from Chaucer's Nun's Priest tale, circa 1390.
I love Chaucer.
The compound word is formed from mare, meaning sea, and maid, woman.
Can I very brief interjection? Yes. So my least favorite thing about mermaids is when people forget that that's the two. Mer meaning water, maid meaning person, and they try to make like other top half of something, bottom half fish, and they replace the mer part and leave the maid part, specifically like a permaid. So it's like the top half of a cat, the bottom half of a fish.
No,
but
it should be
a permaid would be top half cat, bottom half lady.
It should be
or
merper.
Top half lady, bottom half cat. Like that's what a permaid
should
would be.
Merper.
Merper. Mercat. Like
I think they probably did permaid because it fucking rhymes.
Right, they did.
Yeah.
However, what you have created
is not
lexically, like linguistically, what you've made
different.
is cat person.
Yeah.
Which there are words for. Anyway, that's my thing, because I when I worked
cat girl.
A cat girl. When I worked at the toy store that I worked at, we sold magnets that had catfish. Call it a catfish. That was a top half cat, bottom half fish, and it said permaid on it, and I made them stop buying it to sell because I was like, this is incorrect. And she was like, fuck, you're right. That's stupid. Why does it say that? Anyway, please carry on.
So mermaids, like we were talking about, if we know a lot about maritime folklore. It was a whole class we had to take. And also like a big part of the degree that it was slaps. That class, if you ever get to take, Kristen does a great job, but like if you ever have the opportunity to engage with maritime folklore specifically, iconic. It's so good because it's so pervasive to folklore as a whole and to so much of human history in a way that you don't realize until you take that kind of class and you're like, shit, this is everywhere.
It's applicable everywhere.
Yeah. So anyway,
everybody has some sort of water story.
Yeah, mermaids are often associated with maritime events such as storms, shipwrecks, and drownings. So depending on the culture and time frame that you're talking about, they can be considered bad omens. That if you're seeing mermaids, they're going to lure you into a wreck. They're going to lure you into a drowning. This happens specifically. I'll talk about it more later. The Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, those mermaids specifically attempt to drown the sailors. They also look a little bit different. Right. Peter Pan's mermaids try to drown Wendy out of jealousy. Right. Like mermaids are not generally like benevolent creatures. Yeah. They're very, if you read the original Little Mermaid, very jealousy based, very dangerous, very not good. Yeah. They sometimes, though, they are described as benevolent and often like falling in love and joining the human world or vice versa. There's a lot of that kind of, especially more modern mermaid tales are like that. We'll talk about Ponyo. Don't worry. Some people think that mermaids of folklore may have actually been human women that were trained to like be skilled free divers for things like sponges and so therefore spent a lot of time underwater and in the sea as a result. And if you're talking about free diving, even ancient free diving, they had flippers, like versions of like diving flippers we see today. And if
Right.
you're looking at somebody swimming, the way a free diver keeps their body is really just they've got completely straight body and then they're just barely kicking their legs, which is going to look much similar to the dolphin style kick of a fish tail. So even in ancient times, for people that were sponge diving or doing other types of free diving in those kinds of cultures, it's going to be that same look. And you also have to remember people of those times weren't wearing things like snorkels or masks. They were just diving.
Yeah.
So
I never thought of that.
Nope.
the Western concept of mermaids are very beautiful, seductive singers, which is influenced by the sirens of Greek mythology. But again, sirens and mermaids are different things. Sirens are actually half bird.
Yeah.
Like they're not fish.
They're not fish people.
So the earliest text that describes the initial siren story as a fish-tailed creature, so the move from siren to mermaid, is the Liber Monstrum de Diversis Generibus. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My brain had a stroke.
Don't worry.
We're going on 26 hours
I know.
of recording.
7th to 8th mid-century, which described sirens as sea girls, marinae pulae, whose beauty and form and sweet song allure the seafarers, but beneath the human head and torso have a scaly tail end of a fish with which they can navigate the sea. And as time moved on, the siren as pure mermaid was becoming more and more commonplace, particularly in the so-called second family of Latin bestiaries.
Okay.
Represented, this was out of the document that I was reading. So it was basically they had these kind of old drawings or paintings of mermaids with the fish tail body. Moving from Europe over to ancient Middle Eastern mythology of kind of the mermaid culture. I don't go into every culture because there was literally, much like dragons, it was like every freaking culture that touches water has some kind of mermaid story, and I don't have time for that. We will get deeper into it again, I promise.
If somebody has a request for a specific kind of
let
mermaid,
us know.
Let us know, and we'll dive deep in it.
These are called kululus, Kulullu with a triangle thing on top of it.
Sure.
I think I'm close. These depictions are of entities with the upper bodies of humans and the tails of fish, appearing in Mesopotamian artwork from the Old Babylonian period onwards on cylinder seals. These figures were usually mermen, but mermaids do occasionally appear. The name for mermaid may have been kuliltu, meaning fish woman. Such figures were used in the Neo-Assyrian art as protective figures and were shown in both monumental sculpture and small protective figurines. So that's kind of our ancient Middle East look at mermaids. Then we've got some British, Irish, and Scottish folklore.
Nice.
So these are just where we're seeing artwork of mermaids. I'll get more into actual sightings and stuff in a little bit. So the Norman Chapel in Durham Castle that was built around 1078 has what is probably the earliest surviving artistic depiction of a mermaid in England.
Ooh,
it's
really
on, I think there's a wall that it's on that you can see still today. It's very cool. Then mermaids also, specifically in British folklore, are usually seen as unlucky omens. Foretelling disaster and provoking disaster. Several variants of the ballad Saint Sir Patrick Spens depict a mermaid speaking to doomed ships.
There's a shanty about him.
In some version, the mermaid tells them that they will never see land again. In others, she claims that they are near shore, but they're wise enough to know that that's not true. Mermaids can also be a sign of approaching rough weather, and some folkloric reports have been described that mermaids are monstrous in size, up to 2,000 feet.
Oh, fuck.
So we're talking about way out, middle of nowhere ocean, giant mermaids. And again, if we're talking about maritime folklore especially, it's often you're trying to explain something that you don't know. So they could be seeing you have to remember deep sea creatures can be massive in a way that like we can't even fathom in our heads. So
Right.
maybe they saw something as basic as the tentacles of a squid,
Maybe
or
they saw
with a whale,
a large whale, like a blue whale.
like
Yeah.
a blue whale. Especially if we're talking about older, less traversed boats that aren't motorized, fishing in like non-commercial fishing, when things are like growing to be much larger in size,
Right.
much more diverse, those kinds of things. Mermaids have been described as able to swim up rivers to freshwater lakes.
Okay.
Do they spawn there?
I
That's where they go to have their babies.
in
Like
one
salmon.
story, this is a Scottish one. In one story, the Laird of Lornty went to aid a woman he thought was drowning in a lake near his house. His servant pulled him back and warning that it was a mermaid, and the mermaid screamed at them that she would have killed him if it were not for his servant. But
You
mermaid
meddling kids.
mermaids could be occasionally more beneficent, such as they've taught some humans cures for certain diseases.
Oh.
In some folklore, mermen have been described as uglier and wilder than mermaids, with little interest in humans. So the women fish folk tend to be more interested in doing stuff with humans, and mermen are like, not my circus, not my monkeys, kind of thing. Like, get that thing away from me.
But the thing about where it came from, or so.
Yeah. Mermaids from the Isle of Man, known as Benvari, are considered more favorable towards humans than those of other regions, with various accounts of assistance, gifts, and rewards. There's a story that tells of a fisherman who carried a stranded mermaid back into the sea and was rewarded with the location of treasure. Another recounts the tale of a baby mermaid who steals a doll from a human little girl. But then the mermaid's mom was like, no, give that back. What are you doing? And sent back to the girl, sent the doll back to the girl with a gift of a pearl necklace to basically be like, sorry, my bad.
Sorry.
And then a third story from the Isle of Man tells of a fishing family that made regular gifts of apples to a mermaid and was rewarded with overall prosperity. So like a magical gift. In Irish lore, Liban was a human that was transformed into a mermaid.
Oh, cool.
So after 3 centuries, when Christianity came to Ireland, she was baptized. I guess was turned back into a human. I don't really know much about that particular story beyond that. The Irish mermaid is called a marrow, in tales such as The Lady of Galeras, published in the 19th century. So there's a couple of different like specific words beyond mermaid or like mer, whatever. So let's talk about some sightings.
Sure.
In 1493, sailing off of the coast of Hispaniola, Christopher Columbus says that he spots 3 mermaids. And the word in Spanish is sirenas. So again, back to that initial from the folklore of sirens.
That's why we have sirens, the siren conflation.
Which he said were not as beautiful as they are represented because of the masculine features in their faces. People are like, you saw manatees, dummy. But that's fine.
Asshole.
During Henry Hudson's second voyage, on June 15th, 1608, members of his crew reported sighting a mermaid in the Arctic Ocean, either in the Norwegian or Barents Sea,
I'll bet
which
she
could have
was
been
a thick girl.
I
probably
bet she was a
beluga, probably. Or another kind of like a seal or something else. Seals are often obviously related to selkies, but if you're talking about the confusion when you're out on a boat and like you're tired and it's
And
like
that's a lady.
that's a lady because
That's
it's
a
got
lady.
anything with a slightly humanoid face is gonna be like
That's a girl.
that's a girl because
Oh my
you know what I
God.
haven't seen in 18 months, a girl.
I think it's really funny that they like just forget what girls look like.
Yeah.
It's not that they're like are actually genuinely like, oh my God, a woman. It's that they don't remember what girls look like. So they're like, that's what girl? That's a girl?
That's a girl.
Girl. And then they're like, oh no, it's got like a flipper.
That's
Girl
okay.
with flipper body?
Dutch explorer David Denel during his expeditions into Greenland in 1652 to 1654, claimed to have spotted a mermaid with flowing hair and very beautiful. The crew failed to capture it, so could have just been making it up. Unsure. Danish physician. This pisses me off, but it's fine. Danish physician and natural historian Thomas Bartholin wrote about a mermaid specimen caught in Brazil, probably a manatee.
Yeah.
Literally in the like thing that I was reading, it's like this was a manatee.
This was definitely a manatee.
This was subsequently dissected at Leyden, though referred to in his text, like his paper or whatever that he wrote, as a seaman, Homo marinus from Brazil.
Hell yeah. This is really funny.
The account was accompanied by an engraved drawing captioned Cyrene, whose appearance was that of a humanoid female with bared breasts, a mermaid. The specimen's body was deformed and without sign of a tail, matching the drawing. A membrane that joins the fingers together is also reflected in the drawing, as well as like her webbed, like the hands or the forepaw.
Yeah.
The specimen's account and illustration was later reproduced by Linnaeus, who captioned the beast Siren Bartholini, hence Bartholin's siren. Bartholin was actually not the like sole proprietor of this specimen, but he had come into possession of the hand and the ribs, which he illustrated in his book. Based on the illustration, the hand has been determined to definitely be the front flipper belonging to a manatee by a team of researchers. Like, they've looked at the bones and are like, this is absolutely a manatee.
100% this is a manatee.
Bartholin himself had argued that it was a sea mammal closely related to seals. No shit. His rationale was that since there are several marine counterparts to land mammals, e.g. sea horses, the possibility of a marine creature with striking likeness to humans could not be ruled out, though they should all be classified among seal kind. Which I'm like, you're
I love that
idiot.
he's like, there's seahorses, and it's like, yeah, but they don't look like,
They're not big enough to ride.
They're not horses. They're not actually look like horses.
I mean, their heads kind of look like horses,
and that's it.
That's it.
So now we're going to move into out of kind of original. People still technically report sightings of mermaids, but because they're so pervasive in pop culture,
right?
It's hard to know what could be an actual sighting and what, especially with the, and I'll get into it more in a minute, but like the move into having like people that use the silicone mermaid tails and like those
which
kinds
are
of
dope.
things,
They're
which are
sick.
one of our listeners actually is one.
Is it Desiree?
Yeah, it's Desiree.
I didn't
know she listened.
She does. That's how I got. She specifically asked on Facebook a while back for mermaids.
Oh, cute.
So I'm doing this partially for her.
Shout out to our listener who's.
I'm gonna like do a full shout out for her at the end.
Okay, amazing.
Hell yeah, mermaids.
So obviously
Hell yeah,
we
mermaids.
brought up Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid earlier, but the original story is from 1837, and
I didn't know it was.
Yeah,
I thought it was older than that.
So the title character, the name Ariel is not given in the original book. She's just known as the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
She's the youngest of the Merman King's daughters, falls in love with a human prince, and also longs for an eternal soul like humans. I guess mermaids don't have that, despite a shorter lifespan.
Oh, rip.
So the two cravings are intertwined. By only by achieving true love will her soul bind with the humans to become everlasting. But obviously the fishtail is a problem.
Yeah.
And so a sea witch offers a potion to transform her into a human form at a price. The mermaid's tongue and her beautiful voice. So it's a little bit more violent than the Disney version is. So just FYI. The mermaid endures the excruciating pain of having human legs. And despite her inability
every step is agony.
It's
right?
like being stabbed.
Yeah.
Basically, even though she can't speak, she almost succeeds in wedding the prince, but there's a twist, obviously.
Yeah.
The mermaid is doomed unless she stabs the prince with a magic knife on their wedding night.
Yeah, she has to kill him.
She refuses to harm him and dies the mermaid way, dissolving into sea foam. However, her selflessness earned her a second chance at salvation, and she is resurrected as an air spirit. There's also
which is fine, I guess.
there's also the book series that I read when I was a kid. It's called The Tale of Emily Winsnap.
I read that one
And
too.
it's about a teenage girl, like a going into puberty teenage girl who
Oh my god, I forgot to talk about the 13th year.
who
My favorite
I'm gonna
fucking
talk about
thing.
Okay.
who doesn't know. She and her mom live on like a houseboat. I think it's in Florida, something like that.
Dude,
Somewhere
it's been
coastal. It's been
since
so long.
I've read that.
Anyway, she basically finds out that her dad is a merman, and she like gains, similar to the 13th year, she gains her tail, and she gets to like learn how to balance the human world with the mer world.
And she does like mermaid
And
school.
she does mermaid school and has to like balance being a human and going through human school and like not having her friends find out and like different things like that.
Oh my god, it's Hannah Montana.
It
Yeah,
really is.
It's like Hannah Montana mixed with the 13th year.
It's so fun.
If you don't know what we're talking about, the 13th year is an early 2000s
DCOM.
Disney Channel original movie. If you don't know what DCOM
If you
stands
somehow
for.
don't know what a DCOM is.
Fucking
And that DCOM is specifically about a boy that is going into his 13th year and finds out that he is part merman.
And it's basically like, is it also similar to like H2O, where anytime he gets wet, he becomes
No.
Okay.
No.
It gets worse and worse every time he gets wet.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
that's
it
what it
starts like scales, and then
And,
all
like,
of a sudden
he's,
he's
like,
like
itchy,
yeah, he's
and
like
then,
itchy,
like-
and then all of a sudden he's like fucking tail.
Because he's also like on the swim team.
Right.
Yeah,
He's a
so-
swimmer because he's a merman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which also made me think of, is it H2O or is it H2O to go?
I'm
the Australian show.
gonna talk about it.
Okay, I just
H2O.
want to do the oh no Cleo, the condensation.
Yeah. So
Arnar.
I did watch that too as a kid. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was on Netflix, so I watched
My
it.
sibling watched that one.
I loved
and
that show.
I watched it in the background. It's like I was at the table and I was
So obviously, some TV motion pictures, different things like that. Some film adaptations. We've got obviously The Little Mermaid, which was adapted by Disney initially in 1989 for the red-haired version of Ariel that we know and love.
The animated
The
one, yeah.
animated version.
the good one.
Hold on. That also has.
I haven't seen live action.
That also has a sequel about Eric and Ariel's daughter, Melody. And then there was also for a time a Little Mermaid animated cartoon that was really
Yes.
cool because it had a deaf mermaid, so like they signed in that cartoon.
I really liked that.
It was really
Good.
so
Yeah.
Ponyo.
Ponyo!
Which we love, is also an adaptation of
The Little Mermaid.
Mermaid. If you have never gotten to watch Ponyo, you should. It's very good.
It's
one of
so
my
good.
We
favorite
watched
movies.
it in folklore as part of class. It was really good.
I
There's
don't
also
remember if we watched it in mine.
I think you watched it because you'd come to class, and I remember you coming to class the day we watched Ponyo.
No, I don't remember if I watched it in my
your
class.
class.
Is what I'm saying, because I didn't take it. I took it the first.
So
time.
there's also a couple of
also just sat in
other movies that feature mermaids. Miranda from 1948, Night Tide from 1961, Splash from 1984,
That's a good
Aquamarine from
Yeah!
2006. Word for
Can I
me.
tell you my favorite thing about that movie?
Yes.
The little starfish earrings.
Yes, I love
Cute.
That like whisper like
They talk to you.
They whisper nice things and you're
Yeah.
you're so pretty.
Mermaids are also seen. They were seen in Charmed at one point. That very fun TV show.
Oh my god, really?
And She Creature from 2001. Two carnival workers abduct a mermaid in Ireland circa 1900 and attempt to like take her to America. The film Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides mixes old and new myths about mermaids. They sing to sailors to lure them to their death.
Yeah.
They grow legs when taken onto dry land, and they bestow kisses with magical healing properties. They also look real scary.
They fix Priest Finnick.
Yeah.
I saw that one before it came out.
And then there is
Like
the
3 days before.
I'm gonna kill you.
Then there is the Australian teen dramedy H2O, Just Add Water,
Arnar!
which chronicles the
Cleo.
adventures of 3 modern-day mermaids along the Gold Coast of Australia, which if you were like ever wondering what 2000s culture was like at all, watch that TV show.
Arnar, Clear, the
I mean-
condensation.
I mean, obviously it's very Australian, but like it really does like
and
capture peak,
that
like,
is the one where
2000.
anytime they get wet, like they get water on them,
Like
they have a tail.
like
Suddenly.
they sweat there's a sprinkler. Like at one
That's
point,
why the joke, the nuclear, the condensation.
yeah, like literally
Picks up a lemonade.
like literally in one of the episodes, like Cleo is like running through a park, and so they like the sprinklers turn on, and she's like a fish on the grass. Like she's just she's like flopping, like she because they carry like, because it's Australia, they carry like beach bags around everywhere. She's like covering herself up with a towel and like calling somebody to be like, can you please come get me? Help me. Real quick, just to kind of wrap up, we have like 3 more sections. We're almost there.
You're good.
We're going to talk a little bit about mermaids and heraldry. I did this specifically for you, my herald.
Cute.
The Arms of Warsaw is one of the heraldry pieces that features a mermaid.
I'm going to Google it just so I can see what it looks like.
In heraldry,
over here.
I think this is it. It might be a different one, but I don't know how well you can see that.
I'm going to Google it.
Okay. There was a bunch. In heraldry, the charge of a mermaid is commonly represented with a comb and mirror.
Yeah.
And is to blazon it with like mermaids being vain as a big part of it.
She has a sword.
Yeah. In addition to vanity, mermaids are also a symbol of like eloquence. So mermaids appear with greater frequency on heraldic devices than mermen do. A merman and a mermaid are depicted on the coat of arms of Shawan Duiveland.
Oh.
Duiveland.
Sure.
I don't know. A mermaid also appears on the arms of the University of Birmingham, in addition to like multiple different British families. A mermaid with 2 tails is referred to as a Melusine, which is the Starbucks mermaid.
Yeah.
Melusines appear in German heraldry and less frequently in British heraldry.
Huh.
A shield and sword wielding mermaid, Syrinka, is on the official coat of arms of Warsaw. Images of a mermaid have symbolized Warsaw on its arms since the middle of the 14th century. Several legends associate Triton of Greek mythology with the city, which may have been the origin of the mermaid's association with their heraldry. The Cusack family crest also includes a mermaid wielding a sword depicted on a memorial stone for Sir Thomas Cusack, 1490 to 1571.
I have a thing to say when you're done with
Okay.
this. I have a heraldry thing to say when you're done with this
That's
heraldry
fine.
section, because I pulled up the heraldic art website because
Oh.
I was like, I have a thing to say.
Mermaids also appear on the coat of arms of Utska. I'm not going to try. Poland,
Okay.
Austria, Bray, Ireland, Santa Colomba de Curaño, Ruente, Bertizarana, Villanueva de Serena, Spain. I'm not trying to say the Finland or Norway. I love you guys. I will fuck this up so bad, and I'm so tired. Royat, James, Lancoux, Urquois, Chin-sur-Leman, Didenheim, and Weimaro in France. Easmund, Macum,
So many.
and another one in the Netherlands that I'm not trying to say. One in Belgium, Germany. The city of Norfolk, Virginia also uses a mermaid as a symbol.
Cute.
And
That
the
doesn't surprise
personal coat of arms of Michel Jean, the former Governor General of Canada, features 2 mermaids as supporters. Tell me about your heraldic stuff.
Okay, so
because now that I'm like, listen, if people...
It's really brief. So you're like, again, mermaids are usually in heraldry, not usually, often depicted holding a comb and a mirror. And then, so like in heraldic terms, there are specific terms for certain things. So there is a mermaid in her modesty, which is a mermaid covering up her titties.
Yeah.
They're still out.
They're still out, but her nipples are covered.
She's doing like this kind of thing. And then there is a mermaid in her vanity, which is a mermaid like primping, like she's looking in the mirror and like touching her hair. So there's like a regular mermaid just like is holding them kind of like weapons. She's like, I have a comb, I have a mirror, fuck with me. And then there's like,
Try me, I dare.
don't look at me. And then there's like, I'm hot, are like the 3 different kinds of like mermaid ones. But yeah, I pulled up, there's a website called heraldicart.org, which is where a lot of SCA heralds will pull images from. And I was like, I know there's 2 specific terms for mermaids, but I couldn't remember what they were. So there's like a regular ass mermaid, and then there's, which is not how you blazon it, it's just mermaid. And then mermaid in her modesty and mermaid in her vanity.
So we're going to talk about a couple of different hoaxes, people that thought they had found a mermaid, but it was not. This is a very, I know you both know this one.
Yep.
So just hold it
I was
together.
going to ask if you were going to include
hold it
so I'm
together.
glad. I will.
They say celebrated. I would not call it celebrated. a really shitty hoax of a mermaid that happened in the 1822 was the Fiji mermaid. And it traveled from London, and then P.T. Barnum took it over for his sideshow in America. P.T. Barnum displays this Fiji mermaid in 1842. There's a Mysteries at the Museum like whole bit of an episode on the Fiji mermaid.
Oh,
And
cool.
They'll show you like all of the pictures and like the actual like specimen of it.
Yeah.
All of Mysteries at the Museum is either on Max or on like Discovery Plus. Wherever
Yeah.
you get your Travel Channel content, you can find it.
Yeah.
That's like deep in my heart, one of my most favorite shows of all time. If I can't like think of anything else to watch, I have Mysteries at the Museum just like running.
Yeah.
In this case, it was basically it's a very small. It's only like
Yeah,
this
it's not very big. It's a little guy.
That's like a carp with a monkey, right?
Yeah, it's like a fish tail, and then it's like very much a monkey
Like a
body.
capuchin monkey.
Yeah, it's literally a trout
Yeah.
sewn
Trout.
to a capuchin.
And it was found later to be created by some Japanese manufacturer that wanted to make money.
And it is taxidermy.
It is
like
taxidermy.
it's not. It is fake in that it's not a mermaid.
But it is
but the
taxidermy.
bits are real.
Yes, yes. There's also
There's an episode of X-Files about the Fiji mermaid.
Yeah. There's also been other hoax sightings and different things like that. Now let's talk about professional mermaids.
Hell yeah, brother.
To kind of finish out mermaids. There have been professional female divers performing as mermaids at Florida's Weeki Wachee Springs since 1947. The state park calls itself the only city of live mermaids and was extremely popular in the 1960s, drawing almost 1 million tourists per year.
Damn.
Most of the current performers work part-time while attending college, and all are certified scuba divers.
Hell yeah.
They wear fabric tails, perform aquatic ballet for an audience with an underwater stage of glass walls. Children often ask if the mermaids are real, and much like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny or anything else that a parent could tell their child is untrue, which I'm not going to say they are true or not. If you believe in those things, they are real. We've talked about that before. And the PR director says, just like with Santa Claus or any other mythical creature, we always say yes. We're not going to tell them that they're not real.
Yeah.
So there's that.
It's not our business.
Historically, for a fun Texas-based one, there is Ocarina Springs in San Marcos. It's not
Yes.
called that anymore. It's now like the Meadow Center for Education.
Neat.
But Ocarina Springs was the original property. A.B. Rogers purchased the property in 1926. His son Paul developed a hotel there in 1928, and they introduced glass bottom boats to this part of the river. This is where the Edwards Aquifer meets the San Marcos River.
Neat.
It is called Ocarina Springs because you can see the natural springs coming up through the
Bubbling up
water.
through the like,
cool.
sediment.
And
It's-
the San Marcos River stays at a constant 72 degrees year round, so
Yeah.
it's why it's so popular for people to like swim and tube in. And it is also the home of the Texas wild rice, which is an endangered plant species in the state of Texas.
Oh damn.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. And so that's part of the reason that they do. So I got taken there because I lived in that area when I was a kid. We went to Ocarina Springs and took glass bottom boat field trips.
Neat.
And they would also had like basically like a museum exhibit of like what the inside of an aquifer looks like. So like kind
Oh,
of the
cool.
cave of an aquifer and how
Yeah.
it operates. Because a lot of Central Texas relies on aquifers for their fresh water.
Yeah.
Especially the Edwards Aquifer.
Specifically, the Edwards Aquifer does a lot of fresh water for the entire city of Austin and like Buda, San Marcos, those things like that. The Edwards Aquifer is huge. But in the 1950s, they constructed a submarine theater and a large spillway at one end of this lake to produce a swimming pool, which opened Ocarina Springs, which was an amusement park in 1951. Other features of this park were an alpine Swiss sky ride, an Intamin 220-foot sky spiral that vertically and like did like a whee. They had Ralph, the famous swimming pig, and you can still look up videos of Ralph. Like I've seen videos of Ralph, but they also had mermaid performers that would perform in the submarine theater.
That's pretty cool.
The park had other things. They closed it. There is a documentary on Aquarina Springs called Aquarina Springs and Ralph the Swimming Pig from 2011 by Bob Phillips.
Cool.
I didn't know that.
And the Mermaid Society of Texas was founded in 2016, and there is an entire mermaid festival hosted in San Marcos every year.
Oh.
I know this because I've been to it. I went to high school in San Marcos. Like my high school was in San Marcos, so I'm very familiar with this area. It's near and dear to my heart. And in 2021, the Texas Congress passed Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 9, recognizing Aquarina Springs, the Aquamaids, and Ralph the Swimming Pig, and San Marcos as the mermaid capital of Texas.
Oh, fun.
A very silly thing for our government to be involved in, but very cute.
You know, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm proud of them.
One good thing.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned a little bit ago, one of our listeners, her name is Desiree.
Hi, Desiree.
Hi.
She is a professionally licensed PADI mermaid. PADI, the diving school, offers mermaid classes. She is a PADI mermaid and also exhibits, I believe her mermaid persona is Lorelei Pearl something or another. She follows the podcast via her mermaid page.
Cute.
So if you go to our followers, you can find her. She actually taught her son, who's oh my gosh, he's so old now. He's like 10. He was like 5 when I first met. He was little when I first met him, but like he has learned how to swim in a kid's mermaid tail. She also has performed at like a couple of Renaissance festivals. So a lot of like Scarborough Renfest has mermaid performers that you can see and like go up to and meet. Desiree does part of that as well. I know there's another girl that I know from college that teaches mermaid classes as well. Some people consider learning to scuba dive kind of like learning to be a mermaid, not with the same like tail and everything, but getting the opportunity to like
be underwater.
Be underwater like that, yeah.
So that's what I have for you guys. I'm sure we will probably do a deep, like I said, we're going to go over, I'm sure we'll do another, if there's a specific kind of mermaid or culture you want me to look at more closely. This was a very like kind of overview of mermaids as a whole. If you feel like I missed something, feel free to tell us. Like I'm happy to do this, like retouch on stuff and dive deeper. But like, what did you guys think? What did you learn?
I learned that there's I thought of like lady top fish bottom as like a very European thing. I didn't think of that as being a worldwide
phenomena,
which is very interesting. But if I think of it as like it's probably a manatee, it makes sense that they're kind of everywhere, like manatee or seal or sea lion
or dugong
or any of those kinds of things. It's like, well, yeah, they're gonna be everywhere because those things are everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was the thing for me. I was like, I didn't think that this was a worldwide phenomena.
Cute.
Sorry for burping directly in my microphone.
You know, I also agree. Like, I really thought that mermaids were generally a, like, capital W Western idea, creature thing. And so, yeah, it was super fascinating to get to hear about mermaids from other places.
Cool. If you have anything, listeners, that you want us to talk about, email it to us. Like if you're like, oh, you mentioned sirens, I really want you to do a siren episode. Email us. If you are in our listeners Discord community, there is a channel called Topic Suggestions, or it's either Topic Suggestions or Topic Requests. Put things in there. If you're like, oh, you mentioned sirens, you mentioned selkies, you mentioned yada yada.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah. We mentioned Baba Yaga in the Vampires episode. Yeah.
Feel like there has been a topic we've covered that there was something you were really looking forward that we missed, feel free to send us an email and be like, we're happy to do episode updates we've done in the past and be like, hey, you know, in my whatever episode I've been given this information by so and so. I just want to like, we didn't intentionally miss it, but you know, we don't have a research team. We are our own research team. Like what you're getting from us is the time we've put into doing research. We are not perfect. We don't have time to go into every single tiny detail of a topic that we would love to be able to do. We just don't have time for that.
Right.
But I don't know that that's everything you need to know about mermaids, but I think we're have a pretty good jumping off point.
Yeah.
Tune in next week for I actually don't know what.
Something fun.
Something fun.
Thanks for listening.
This podcast is for weirdos.
Are you a weirdo?
Thursdays are for the phenomena.